and will help somebody to fulfill their ministry and to help them in their calling in life. As we look into the Word of God, let's open our Bibles quickly. Hallelujah. I want to share with us what I titled, "My grace is sufficient for thee." My grace is sufficient for thee. I entered ministry not knowing my left and right. I'm a brother who loves God and has been preaching about Jesus. And I don't know what to do, how to do it. And I was sent to start a church. And the first thing that came to my mind was I need money. What you need is what? Money. And I believe every young minister, perhaps this is always the foundation where we always think about money is the ultimate. But as I kept growing, I realized money is not all that you need. You have what it takes to create money. Say amen. Money is not what you need as the main primary thing. God equipped us with something valuable that can create everything we need. Everything we need. Every man that is called into the ministry, I am telling you the truth, he will never be stranded. A pastor was moved into Zambia recently to Lusaka with his wife. And I gave my services to them by helping them packing things. And my wife was so interested. She wanted to cook and do everything for them as if they are dying. I said, they are not dying. The God who called them, I tell you, he has everything provided for them already. Don't have compassion as if they are hopeless. They are not hopeless. So give me my meat as it were. Hallelujah. And many a times we find ourselves in that situation where when we see a pastor or a man of God, maybe you are walking, things are not working in order, as if the world is coming to an end. But in that same person lies 1,000-seater churches. In that same person lies great potentials that can produce so many things for the body of Christ. All right? This scripture that I want us to look at, I studied over and over. I read it in commentary. And, commentaries, I read commentaries that I gave it to Bible school students. Since I became a pastor, I stopped reading commentaries. Because commentaries gives you an easy people's opinion. So I want to hear things from the Holy Spirit. Whatever he tells me, that is what I'm going to say. And many a times when I check it with the commentary, they are the same. Hallelujah. Now, let's look at our first scriptures today, to the book of 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Hallelujah. I say hallelujah. I am not deviating from the truth of the gospel. I will come out there. Hallelujah. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. But this is for ministers, so it's a leadership station. So let me address or to something here. Let's say second or first? Second. All right, 2 Corinthians chapter 12. All right. Now, it's a story that I know that a lot of us are familiar with regarding Paul and his issue of thorn in the flesh. Let's look at it. Lest I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of revelation, and a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning these things, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times. I pleaded with the Lord how many times? Everybody say 3 times. How many times? 3 times, that it might depart from me. And he said to me, my grace is what? Sufficient for you. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Shout amen. Shout amen. Now, a lot of times I read one of the things that made me to not to go through some other things is there are so many different interpretations concerning this verse. Some will tell you it was sickness that Paul had here. But Paul was not talking about sickness, he was talking about the abundant revelations. He said, as a result of the abundant revelations. So what we are looking at here is not about sickness. You know, it's not about what? Sickness. Because at the mentioning of the name Satan, it looks like it's a big sickness. And Paul was endowed with, and so he asked the Lord, take it away. But if that's the truth, then the gospel cannot be complete. Because Paul cannot ask the Lord to take away sickness. Because Paul has been given authority over sickness. Amen. So all he do is to believe God and walk by faith, and he will be healed. But he said, I besought the Lord 3 times. 3 times I've been praying, seeking the face of God over this matter. But God said something. Instead of taking it away, he gave me one answer. My grace is sufficient for thee. My grace is sufficient. Now, are you asking questions about your lack? Are you asking questions about your needs many times before the Lord? Sometimes, my grace is sufficient for thee is the answer you need to hear. Hallelujah. My grace is sufficient for you. In ministry, I want to talk to you. I'm talking in relating to ministry. Believe you me, whatsoever you need in the ministry, my grace is sufficient. Whatsoever we need, it is my grace that I made available to you that can provide it. It is the grace that I've placed on you that will provide it. I love Rev teaching many times over and over. If there's anything I've learned from Rev is to repeat something over and over and over. Is don't depend on your abilities. Depend on the grace. Say amen. Depend on what? The grace. The grace can provide anything you need in your life. And it may not be visible now. Listen to me. It may not be visible in your life that you are a great man of God, but the grace is there. The grace is there. Shout amen. Amen. The grace is there. Sometimes we don't even know until we start the work. When we start the work, that's when we'll be able to know how much grace we carry. If we don't step out, sometimes we don't even know that we endow with such a great ability. How many of you have ever been to school and you've been bullied in your life? Sorry. I'm one of them. I was very small in primary school. I was 11 years old and still like this. And I used to wonder why, because my family, they are tall people. Everybody is tall, it's only me, but it is now that I realize I was eating too much carbohydrate. And in carbohydrate, there is not too much growth. So I was like this. 18 years, I was like this. If they asked my mates, I said, this is your mate. They would say, God forbid, this small boy. And that was how I entered class 1, 2, 3. The smallest in the class, I was always in front. But my mouth, sharp razor. So this particular day, I remember we were talking, and there was this fat lady in our class. Yeah, she was supposed to marry. I don't know why she was in our class at that day. Very huge. This was, I was in class 5 then. So this lady was talking, and I just said, who is speaking that nonsense? By the time I realized that I received a heavy knock on my head. God, who is nonsense? When I turned, she was the one. She said, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were the one. She said, no way. You can't say you're sorry. It became a problem. The day I said, I'm sorry and I apologize, I signed a signature of tormenting myself every day. If I talk in the class, she will just go and stop talking. I say, stop talking. And I'll keep quiet. Because of her, I became a quiet person. My friends would be laughing. Talk now. You always think you are a talk. Then I was copying notes. And then I just had a finger on my head. I said, who is that stupid person? Oh, you called me stupid. Oh, you are the one. I am sorry. I didn't know that you are the one. She said, today after school, you are in trouble. 1 hour to go, I was not listening to my teacher. All I was listening is after school, you are in trouble. And when the bell rang that the school was closing, I ran to the front, thinking she would not see me. So that when they share the grace, my books are in my armpit, straight to our house. And when the national anthem after the national, I had a strange voice behind me. Is this she the one? I turned, she was the one. My own national anthem stopped. What did I do? Which side will I run to? And out of confusion, at the moment we closed, hooray! I headed towards one direction which had a close. I forgot that it was a close and I ran into it. Hey! She was behind me. Say, I've touched you. I've got you. I said, please, we should not fight. You know, fighting is not good. Okay. My friends follow us and they were playing drums. You know, in a wrestling match in my place, when they are doing wrestling, they play drums so that you can wrestle properly. So they stood and they were playing drum. I said, I'm finished today. And she walked up to me and slapped me. They slapped that turns my ability out. By the time she slapped me out of anger, I don't know where the strength came from. Hey, I grabbed this loaf of bread. Lift her up. I hit her on the floor. I said, oh, this is how you are. Yeah. Glory! Man, the game changed. It was a Friday. I was looking for Monday. To pay class on Monday. When Monday came, she was sitting at the back. I said, there are people who talk anyhow in this class. Let them talk again, let me see. Hallelujah. But I want to tell you, I didn't get it anywhere. It was all in me. That strength, I didn't find it anywhere. It was all in me. I was just despising myself, underrating myself. Some of you have been in the devil's workshop because of how you've been underrating yourself. You know, if there's anything that made me to work with Savannah, is this emphasis on faith. I work with church, they pay you salary. You don't even pray, your monthly salary. That's why I hate salary till today. I don't pray, I don't even. Some days I'll just sleep throughout the day. I know at the end of the month, my salary. So, but whenever we come in contact with people like Red and then all of us, and we're talking about, I trust God with this, I get this. I say, wow, I trust God, I get this. I say, I can't be living on this salary. It looked like a blessing, but it's a hindrance. So, what did I do? I started looking for how I will punish myself in order to trust God. And I started praying. And God gave me an insight for missions. And I went for missions. I went into missions in Zambia with no sponsor. No money backing from home and abroad. I told my American friend, we met there, he said, who is sponsoring? I said, nobody. Nobody. So you mean, how do you survive? I said, God. You might just give me $200 out of sympathy. I said, the way you gave me this $400, that's how somebody was going to give me another one. Another one. I said, okay. I said, when I left America, the arrangements for my salary, I said I was there before. But believe you me, I took care of the Bible school. I made a debt of 10, that time it was millions. I made a debt of about 10 million. And let your head not be, they're paying me long. When you convert it, those days 10 million was something else. When I changed my money, I went there with about $400 when I landed. I arrived with 400. When I changed the $400, I was a millionaire. I called them and said, hello guys. It's like Nigeria is very hard to be a millionaire. Come over here. I am a millionaire already. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm a millionaire already. I said, what? You're rich like that so fast. I I said, please $400. Hallelujah. But believe you me, these principles of faith, within 4 to 5 months, I cleared all the debt of the school. Every debt was paid. All our bills, Lusaka is very expensive. For the office and for the house was cleared. Shout amen. So I kept running the school, nobody coming, and I kept surviving. And I reached a point where I was so tired. And I asked the Lord, why am I tired? Why am I getting tired? And the Lord said, I didn't call you for Bible school. You are a pastor by calling. And the grace for pastoring is upon you. Much more now. Okay. No wonder I get weary of teaching every time. That grace for teaching is supposed to be for Dr. Joshua Kenny. That's why you can't get tired, even if you give me the whole day. You keep on teaching and you're straight. Yesterday I asked him, where do you get those illustrations from? But that's the grace for teaching. And so I told them I think I need to start a church. I kept praying. And I have some good friends that have big churches as well. I came to Nigeria, I said, let me walk. Which church? I don't want to start my own church. I want to be under a ministry. And while I was praying, I even went to Port Harcourt to see a friend of mine, very wonderful. They have a church of about 100,000. I even passed Redfield and I went to Port Harcourt. So I sat there. They put me in a good hotel. He said, I'm coming to see you. So he came, we were talking. I couldn't open my mouth. Whenever I want to open my mouth to say, this is what I came for, as if there is something saying, keep quiet. And I kept quiet until I couldn't say anything anymore. So I left his presence. I went to Zambia. I called Red. I said, Red, I'm starting Savannah here. I thought he would pretend. I said, I'm praying, like some people will say, okay, let's pray about it. Let's say, glory, that's good. Hallelujah. He said, that's good. I said, this is a good answer. It's more than money. It's more than encouragement. My spirit was lifted. I said, I'm registering the church here. Really? Go ahead. What do they need? I said, it's just small money and I can pay for it. Don't worry. So, after this, I'm telling you the truth. We started a church. They said, churches, I have to go to a primary school hall. I said, me, do church in primary school hall. 1988, I do fellowship in primary school hall with benches. I can't see those things anymore. I don't want to see them. He said, go to primary school hall. I said, it's not right, but where I came from, I've done that ministry before. I don't want to go back there. If God will do his work, I need to get a good hall, get a good chairs, start a church. I'm not looking in for business, so I'm not afraid. His grace is sufficient. Hallelujah. So I found this hall. They said, no, I will be paying from here. I said, okay, sir. And they sent me a quarterly money. I paid for the hall. Then another 2 months. Then there's one thing Reverend Tokula said, and that was what came to my mind. Count your chickens. Look at them. Sometimes God can be blessing you with money, and you don't know, you think the money is not enough. So start jotting out every amount of money that comes, so that you can be able to tell in a month how much has come into your hand. So okay. So I started jotting. Do you know, in 3 weeks, the money I saw came to my head was much more than the one sent to me. I just called my little, we are about 10, total of 10 people, right? 10, 15 people. I said, we are not collecting money anymore from the headquarters church. From today, we pay our bills. And from that day, I'm not exaggerating. I just told her, he said, okay, you can. I said, yeah. He said, all right. So we keep on. It was 250. At that time, it's like about $200 a month. It won't pay for my rent. So I was squatting. I went and squatted with a pastor. Are you squatting? It is not the same. Yes, it's good management. But when you squat, don't try to be boss in somebody's house. Follow the laws of the house. Alright? There's one man that squatted with me. He was coming 23. He was squatting with me. Maybe the owner of the house, I'm sleeping. You come and knock at the wall. Go out to open gate for you. Say, my friend, be careful. He's a master. I said, your grace will finish you. So, follow the Lord. Where I stayed before, the man told me, by no means will you be outside this house by 21 hours. That's 9 p.m. And I kept it. I get it. So, after that, God, in His infinite mercy, started increasing us and enlarging us. And I rented a house for myself. House and church. Say amen. And to God be the glory. We paid all without stress. And Rev is here. You know, when you're gossiping, when you're lying, you don't lie far away from home. I don't think I ever bothered to call her. Hello, sir. Things are not working well. Can you help us? I always tell them we can do it. The grace is available. It is possible we can do it. In this church, we can provide. And God has always been providing. Shout hallelujah. I am so surprised that somebody will invite me and be expecting money from. Yeah, can you sow a seed? You came to preach for me, and sow a seed. I will not correct you. I will tell you, thank you, sir. Believe me. I will not correct that seed. Oh, I will correct and sow it to you in another way. But God is faithful. And He has been meeting our need. Listen to me. It is what your heart is open to. The grace will be channeled to produce. The day Reverend Joshua Taylor was teaching and he opened the verse in Jeremiah 23. The next verse, I kept reading it to it today. And it's the verse that talk about you will build your houses, you build lands, you have lands and build your own houses. And I see people say, up to. So I have this privilege in the Bible that I can have my own church building, that I can have my own. And I was calculating to my church how much we have spent in renting just where we're using. Do you know I was amazed? Because we paid how many dollars per month? Close to about $350 every month. So I sat down and calculated the days we stayed in it and how much we have paid. When I convert the money in Acha, I was so shocked. I said, "This can buy us property somewhere. Guys, we can buy a land. I know we are able at this age Don't let us not despise ourselves. We have the ability, we have the potential that can buy a land or a building. And next year, I came here to tap the grace. Next year, you will hear about us. Hallelujah. I have no doubt about it. Because once I see it in the word that you are going to own your own lands and your own houses, can they borrow to share? Therefore, God, your word says so. Your word says you will own your own lands and your own houses. Shout amen. And I see our branches flourishing the same. I'm telling you, branches of Savannah will begin to come. Hey, if you're a joker, then your church will overrun you. Are you there to me? You will just see somebody in church is doing very well. And he has become the pastor by force. And the pastor is sleeping. Because the grace of God is evidently at work. Tremendously at work in us this year. Shout amen. You see, there is no time in the South that says a time. There is, even in London, they are buying land. Long. Where they started issue of colonization. Before they reach here, industrial revolution took place. I still saw that back to our Chimolo bought land. And I asked myself, so they still buy land in London. So talk less of you start off yesterday. We buy land. And shout hallelujah. My grace is sufficient for thee. What is your weakness? My grace is sufficient for thee. And the people said, well, I was laughing is the next verse, my strength is made perfect in weakness. He didn't say my grace. Now, and I did say, he's talking about grace. And he's talking about strength here. So he's invariably saying, grace is strength. Are we together? So grace is strength. So whenever we operate in grace, we are operating in strength. And the world will think, oh, the preachers of the Lord will think we are operating in weakness. We are not. Many times when you are preaching grace, some people will say, they say, if you are preaching these things, you are giving people license to sin. Therefore, help God and add. When I was speaking, was it Reverend Toflad? I said, so people are helping God to add so that it will be very, strong. So that when you apply it, people will not joke with it. But I realize it's not always the case. The gospel is very easy. The gospel is very simple. Everything we need in God, He has provided. Are you getting me? Now, in serving Him also, He has given us the ability to serve Him. You see that? So, He made everything available for us and give us the faith to be able to receive what He made available for us. So, if we walk in this truth, and somebody come from somewhere and is telling us, when you preach this, you are making people to sing, you are making people to do this, you are deceiving yourself. We can't be more knowledgeable than God. God was the lawgiver. He gave the law and realized no man was able to keep it. And He made it more easy for us. Let us not now create affliction for ourselves. The church is creating affliction. almost died in the name of seeking for the anointing. I'm telling you, seeking for anointing. I came into the church where they said, if you want the anointing, fast and pray. Fast and pray. Tarry. So I met this, my friend, he was very good tarrying. So I asked him, because they would say, if you don't pray for 6-7 hours, you have not started. You have not started. So I said, I want to tarry with you, sir. So he said, okay, no water, no food. Is that so? Yes. So when we fixed a day, it was a Friday. And that time we were much younger and then much energy. We started the race. In the morning, the man was just reaching. I didn't know that he knows when. The man knows where we're going. He was just doing. Me, I was just trying to do my youthful martial prayer. Maputu Bagada, Azuzu. By the time we reached 2 o'clock, I started Mazuba. By evening, my throat was very dry. Then I started, instead of praying Mazuzu, I started shh. Hallelujah! I can't see. By the time the following day, I couldn't even water shoe. I laid before the altar. See my suffering. Oh Lord, I hear my prayer. I just lied before the altar. The man was I was just looking. In the afternoon, I said, as if I took a bath. I told him, I said, I am dying. He said, put water on the stove. Eat water. So he went and hid water on the stove. Came and gave it to me. I drank. Can you receive me? He said, I will try. We reached 18 minutes in the evening. I said, my friend, I won't continue. I won't be able to reach tomorrow. Forgive me. I didn't know this is how the road is. He's the one that now can make little bread and whatever and brought it for me. And I drank. When I came outside, rain, the wind was blowing, it was raining, it was coming. I saw myself, wind was taking me out. I said, this is not something to try. If this is how Christianity is, you're not able to do. But this is how we want to serve the Lord. So that when we finish like that, we say, yes. I almost give up, but I tried. But I was wild. Believe me, I reached that day. I don't think I will have survived. Oh, from that day, I've never tried it. Till today, this day, some people come and preach. They say, you can wait on the Lord for 30 days, 30 days, amen. So Christians are good. But for me, when I've tasted my body, hallelujah. I say hallelujah. Every one of us is given Say, I am given. Not by labor. Not by labor. In the book of Ephesians chapter 4, my time is almost up. I just have 3 minutes. Ephesians chapter 4 talks about when he ascended on high, he led captivity captives and he gave gifts unto men. Is that not so? When he ascended, he said, okay, open the heart. Please give me that Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 7. Let's begin from there. Charlie. But to every one of us is given what? Grace, according to the measure of the gift of Christ. Say, I am given. I am given. What? The gifts of the measure of the gift of Christ. What is a gift? What you have not labored for. Am I right? So why do people think? Sometimes I wonder why brothers and pastors don't enter people's mind when they are reading. Or they've already programmed their mind for what they want in their mind. He is given to every man according to the gift of Christ. Now, God further. Alright? Wherefore he said, when he ascended on high, he led captivity captives and he gave gifts unto men. Go on. Alright? Now that he ascended, what is he done? But he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth. Go on. He that has descended is the same also that ascended up far above heaven, that he might fill how many things? All things. Glory to God. Next verse. And he gave some. Now, listen to me. You know, in those days I used to wonder, as if these are spectacular names. But these names are abilities of grace. They are just abilities of graces. Alright? He gave some grace to be what? Apostles. That's just it. And this grace is called apostles. There is another grace called what? Prophet. And another one is, and another one is, and another one is teachers. And if you read others, and more and more, grace has been given. Hallelujah. I say hallelujah. So that the body of Christ will be built. But so many people, like the man of God said in the morning, it's as if they want to practice African religion. They carry African religion and bring it in the church. And funny enough, as a pastor growing, you're trusting God for more audience and more people, you are attracted to more tendencies towards those things. I have church members several years who come to me. He said, let us do washing of feet. I said, where? I said, I never do any wash feet. Lately in Zambia, God said we should start deliverance service. I said, not here. If you want to do deliverance service, you as a person, the church is open. You can come and be doing the deliverance service, but it's not me. Because I am pursuing our vision. Say amen. I'm not pursuing somebody's vision. I'm pursuing our vision. And that's exactly what I want to say. Many people, they are in a vision, doing another vision, which is very wrong. Are you getting me? Catch the spirit of your leader. No matter how, catch that spirit. His teachings, his way of doing things, and so on. I didn't know anything about blessing mankind. I catch it. I didn't know anything about it. I catch it. And every day they echo it in our services. It's not because the Rev is there. Every day they talk about Savannah Ministries, our vision, every service. It's part of the service. Are you getting me? So that you will hear, in case you come today and you think you want to create fire here. Is it fire we came here to do? Did you hear we're doing fire here? No. So follow what we are doing. Shout amen. Don't jump into another man's vision and start doing things. And the lady got angry and left the church. Go, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you. But you always hear that we are doing very well. I learned this from Ted Bill. You will not even remember. I asked him for one. There was this church member I asked him about it. Where is he now? He said, he has left. But I promise you, he will hear about us. And that's the place with my stomach. I promise him, he will hear about us. And that was before they even know that they will buy a plot of land. Yes, they just started a church, just not too long. But I'm so glad that he has heard wherever he is. Permit me to tell you, Savannah Ministries, they will hear about us. I am so glad to join part of this commission. And we have a future. Believe you me, we have a future. When I heard Pastor Adah was preaching, yesterday, person must read his Bible very well, or else one will sit in Savannah meetings and be listening 24 hours. Come on. I was so blessed. Listen to me. It's the same thing. You see, the posterity of Savannah is not in us that are preaching now. It's in you. I'm telling you, it's in you. And I'm so glad that Red is able to flow with the youth and so many of us. You know, I've worked with old people. 60-year-old. They are my board members. They are the most difficult people. Don't even think that you want, if you work with them, you will hate your life. They even wanted to vote me out. I'm telling you, we are having meeting. The man stood on me and said, "You pastor, you are our problem." I'm telling you, you pastor, you are in the meeting. But which young man will stand like that and touch my head? You are older than me, so they were touching my head. I said, "Child." I better leave this place before they disgrace me. Shout amen. Shout, we have a future. Give the Lord a big hand. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.